nice to see him get into a nice mood.
Thanks, boy.
But there is news, too, in jaw-dropping honesty. You may have heard that Diana tried to commit suicide. But tonight you'll hear her describe it herself. And I feel like I was desperate when I was crying while I got So I threw myself down the stairs. Bearing in mind I was carrying the child. Why did a woman so guarded in her personal life record these very personal details? To understand the tapes, you have to go back to the beginning. When World War II, Diana and Charles were planning a long and happy life together.
The whole family, as far as the Germans are concerned, you're on the outside looking in.
Andrew Morton has been writing about the British royal family since 1982. He's met Princess Diana several times, but like every member of the family, she refused to do a formal interview.
The whole idea of sitting down to Diana was just it was a fairy tale. You're intrigued about to think about that.
Too easy, big boy.
Introduce someone from the group. She's never once sat down her hands.
Events were stiff, short, tightly controlled photo ops. In that world, the tiniest tidbit, a new haircut, the name of a dress designer qualified as a scoop. Actually, the reporters who covered her had no idea what Diana was really doing. Only a few close friends knew about her torment. One of them was Dr. James Colhurst, a wealthy aristocrat who met Diana on a skiing trip when she was 17. Colhurst, speaking publicly about Diana for the first time, says she was tired of the parade and dying to talk to the press about the miserable state of her marriage.
There can be a level where people can tolerate so much. The sense was that she wanted to shout from the rooftops.
The consequences of a tell-all interview were potentially catastrophic. Buckingham Palace could dismiss her as a lunatic.
The sense was that she wanted to shout from the rooftops.
The consequences of a tell-all interview were potentially catastrophic. Buckingham Palace could dismiss her as a lunatic.
Quit, big boy.
Turn against her. Diana might gain her freedom, but as Colhurst repeatedly warned her, the cost could be unbearable.
The monarch had control over Diana's children, something she was acutely aware of. They might try to label her as psychiatrically unsound, and she would then lose her 2 children.
Colhurst urged her to tell her story through an intermediary. A book, he argued, would give Diana more control over how the story was told.
She was going to say something anyway. That was going to happen. Whether that was going to be a loose cannon and an uncontrolled explosion, or whether it was going to be something which people subsequently could understand her well and therefore be sympathetic to her. The question was then, how could it be done?
Colhurst didn't know one reporter he thought he could trust. Andrew Morton was working on an unauthorized biography of the princess when Colhurst arranged to meet him and offer him a chance to write the authorized kind.
James kind of said, do you want an interview? I said, of course I do. He said, Andrew phoned me one day and said, Mike, you're not going to believe this. And he was absolutely right.
Morton took Colhurst to meet publisher Michael O'Meara, who had helped to promote the fairy tale version of the royal family in a series of best-selling picture books. O'Meara thought Colhurst was making the whole thing up.
I took some of the books I previously published off my shelves, opened them on my desk and said, well, look at these pictures. This happy woman, smiling woman with the gorgeous kids. There she is with her husband, they're holding hands and smiling. I mean, look, these are the happiest people in the world. James said, that's the point. She's having to fake it.
The four of them, princess, publisher, writer, and friend, started to hatch a plan. Morton would interview a few of Diana's closest friends so he could say the most personal information in the book came from them. As for the interview with Diana,
She was being followed all the time by the paparazzi. If I was seen, then that would blow the whole cover.
It was Mike's suggestion, as I remember it, that the only way to have an interview in a manageable form was to record the interview on a tape recorder. The only person who could do that was me.
Morton would write interview questions, and Colehurst would ask them, recording Diana's answers on tape. No one would suspect him. He came to Kensington Palace to see Diana or his daughter. It was simple enough plan, but the four co-conspirators would soon become anxious, even frightened. There would be secret meetings outside of London, scrambling phones, even an office break-in. And with all the precautions, not one of them predicted the explosive impact these tapes would have. One afternoon in May 1991, James Colehurst rode to Kensington Palace for a night. In his basket, a small tape recorder that would rock the monarchy. The guard passed Colehurst's room as he had many times before. Diana entered the door of her apartment in jeans and a t-shirt, ready to get to work.
She howled with laughter, as she saw the little tape recorder, and then she flipped the mic on herself.
Break. So please don't make that. You're done.
Record button.
Bing bong.
Pouring out.
What is he going?
Now that she was finally free to tell her story, Colehurst said she barely paused to
Where's he
take a
going,
breath.
pussy?
She just
Pussy.
started at the beginning of the childhood and then kept going. And it's obviously something she'd been wanting to talk about for a long time.
How about an in-season tournament win for the Lakers in 2024? Honestly, that the first of
What a lucky shot.
For the first time, you'll be able to win all for yourself when we come back. Her friend James Colehurst sat across from her in what would be the first of 6 recording sessions. This is a photograph of one of them. With a list of questions in hand, Colehurst started with her childhood.
swing it over to the sideline and here's the bowling.
Could be bong bong.
Lady Diana Frances Spencer was born in 1961 into one of the oldest aristocratic
dunked on,
families
pussy.
in Britain. Of course, the family estate was in turmoil. When Diana was 6, her mother ran off with another man.
What you doing?
The divorce was vicious.
I'm on your way.
And she was crying.
You ain't gotta found me, Unc.
Diana distracted herself in boarding school, mostly with athletics. She admits she was no scholar.
No
There
friction.
were a few subjects she liked. She fascinated me. Jesus did. The last
Here's Thompson. Outside Irving.
You shout out answers and things like that.
They let him go.
As for romance, well, she was more interested in romance novels. She was saving herself for the man she would marry. All my friends have boyfriends, but not me. But I need sometimes to keep myself very tidy for whatever was coming my way. In November of 1977, when Diana was 16, a royal visitor arrived at Oval, and the house was abuzz. Her sister Sarah had brought a young man home, none other than Prince Charles, royal biographer Penny Jones. Matrix is his dog, great catch. There's the truth. And he was a glamorous figure. He was regarded as he's always in one uniform or another, doing daring, dangerous things. But Sarah's little sister wasn't all that impressed. No makeup, I'm not ready.
In the act of shooting,
apartment she shared with a few girlfriends. She signed on to work as a kindergarten teacher. It was one of the happiest times in her life.
Here's Williams. That's the way Charles does.
Life was about to get complicated. Just after she turned 18, Diana met Prince Charles again at a friend's house. This time, it's now another pressured by the couple wife. Just one act of interest in her. A breathing discussion. You would help to and here was a woman, a girl, who was very fresh and naive and sweet and funny.
That's Williams.
They began dating, and after 2 months, Charles invited Diana to join him for Scotland's Braemar Games. It would be her first royal event. She would stay at Balmoral Castle, an official residence in Jersey. That visit to Balmoral was a milestone for another reason. It's where the paparazzi first picked up the scent. Her life would never again be her own. The press began to follow her everywhere, even spying on her through her apartment windows.
People did not understand they had binoculars on me the whole time. They would hide the opposite flat into my bedroom. I cried like a baby in the ball wall. I just couldn't cope with it.
But the reporters refused to back off.
Did any of that go down to the pictures of it?
They knew Diana was the one. She knew it too.
I'm not going to say anything. Prince Charles did give us a hint himself. He said we wouldn't have to wait too long.
On Friday, February 6, 1981, after 7 months of courtship, Prince Charles invited Diana to Windsor Castle. He told her he had something to ask.
So he said, will you marry me? And I laughed. I remember thinking, this is a joke. So I said, yeah, okay. I laughed. And he was deadly serious. So he said, will you marry me? And I laughed. I remember thinking, this is a joke. So I said, yeah, okay. I laughed. And he was deadly serious. He said, you do realise just one day you'll be queen. And a voice said to me inside, you won't be queen, but you'll have a tough role. So I thought to myself, okay. So I said yes.
The night before the official announcement, Diana said goodbye to her flatmates.
Champagne flew pretty quick.
And moved in with the royal family to start preparing for the wedding. A door closed on her old life forever.
I left my flat the last time, and suddenly I had a policeman. And my policeman the night before the engagement had said to me, I just want you to know that this is your last night of freedom ever in the rest of your life, so make the most of it. And it was like a sword went in my heart.
But she was
Night of freedom ever in the rest of your life, so make the most of it. The last time, and suddenly I had a policeman, and my policeman the night before the engagement had said to me, I just want you to know that this is your last night of freedom ever in the rest of your life, so make the most of it. And it was like a sword went in my heart.
But she was all smiles the next day, February 24th, 1981, as the couple announced their engagement from Buckingham Palace.
Can you find the words to sum up how you feel today, Berthold?
And proclaim their love for each other.
It's a word, isn't it?
Sort of.
Just delighted and
We have an interconference agreement lined up for you today as the Philadelphia 76ers come into this one. The excitement at the NBA is on the way. This is Kevin Harlan with Mark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. And giving us the rundown from the sideline, Jacob Woodridge.
Say the most unfortunate things at times. No one was more confused than Diana. She just returned from a 3-week trip to Australia, where she hadn't spoken to her fiancé.
This might seem like a potential blow, but anything can happen in this NBA.
Disaster, because I tried for him, but he never rang me out.
speedy drive by Donaldson. That doesn't quite go together.
What's more, as the world became obsessed with the royal couple, Diana suspected Charles was obsessed. In other words, Camilla Parker Bowles, a former lover, was married to one of his close friends. But Diana still noticed parts of the ring.
Here's Maxie. After the basketball session.
When reporters saw Diana cry as Charles left for an official trip, they thought she was missing him already. She could take her heart was aching about something else.
And once James gets the ball near the rim, this ain't going to work because he knows what he's doing down there.
We passed year 20 for LeBron James. How is he still doing this?
Well, I love to find out that he's got a combination of remarkable DNA,
Diana's anxiety began to show in a more troubled way. In 5 months, she lost 5.5 inches from her waist, not just to the foot in her way.
Seeing in basketball. It's different than other sports. To do what he's doing on the court, it's amazing.
Here's Max. Outside, George.
The disease would plague her for years. She had an episode of symptoms right before her wedding. After they found the bracelet, Charles was taken to Camilla. Any woman in Diana's position might have called the whole thing off. But there were more than 2 people in this relationship. There were millions. She saw no way out.
It's no good.
Her sisters tried to raise her.
76ers
I can't do this. This is absolutely unbelievable. And they were wonderful. So we found that out. She played some tea towels and it's amazing she did have. On the morning of July 29, 1981, Trump is blaring in a worldwide audience of more than 700 million victory every time. Diana emerged from her glass carriage, feeling like she was going to an execution. It was all pomp and circumstance. Just like there were 2,500 guests at the cathedral that morning. Diana was fully aware of Well, there we are. That's all over with. Desperate for a happy ending, Diana decided to focus on the positive. She was very much in love with Charles. Maybe now she thought he'd be in love with her. He was going to look after me. Well, was I wrong on that assumption? Makes a difference.
She is such a good and aggressive player.
Even in those first hours, those who knew Diana best were already worried about
That's one for her.
Their wedding night was to be their first intimate night together. Diana said only that it was strange. Very strange. royal yacht in Canada, but romance hardly filled the air. For their private diversion, Gerald brought the works of a South African philosopher.
I had tremendous hope in this, which was slashed by Daytona.
If you have like improvements over streamline numbers from a year ago, it's not a significant number or a huge amount, but it's improvement.
Husband's choice of reading material was the least of her worries.
And on our honeymoon, we had a white-tighted Christmas skirt. Preference arrive on his wrist. She sees into our like the Chanel suit. I've got a new one in his jacket. So I said, "Come on, University." So what's wrong with this? What do we have around?
Even on her honeymoon, the princess could not escape Camilla's shadow.
He made his mark in a big way on the boards in that quarter.
I drove to Camilla the whole time. And believe me, it was appalling. Absolutely appalling. Right, all kinds of day on the yacht. Anything under the mind.
You're enjoying the game. Both teams tonight keeping things pretty even so far as the
We'll be happy the next day, aren't we? Something like that.
I am my life with the hundreds of Diana kept her troubles hidden from the public. Her admirers clung to the image of the kindergarten teacher plucked from obscurity by a handsome prince. He took her off to a castle to live happily ever after. But Diana struggled to find her footing.
I like Johnson's willingness to share the ball. He wants to see other guys involved and produce.
Diana fell back on what she knew best, to be herself. She had the common touch that could bridge the gap between the palace and the people. The public responded to her. It would be a long time before Diana understood why.
Once again, with the ball. Downtown town.
Engaging the public is one thing. Coping with the media is quite another. They demanded more and more. Lennox made a career out of photographing Diana. In November of 1981, the palace announced that the princess was pregnant. Diana's struggle with her health proved doubly difficult.
People tried to put me on pills to stop me being sick. I refused to take the responsibility that if the child appeared handicapped, I wasn't going to take responsibility.
To make matters worse, the news that she was expecting only drove the press corps into a greater frenzy. Photographers were determined to get a picture of the pregnant Diana. Nothing seemed off limits. Lennox and his tabloid competitors followed Diana and Charles on their vacation to a very private island in the Bahamas. Using a very long lens, Lennox snapped pictures of a pregnant princess in a bikini. She was distraught.
I felt horrified. I would never walk around looking like that in a bikini.
The Queen called it the blackest day in the history of British journalism.
Overstepped the line, yeah. Oh, totally overstepped the line. By standards of that time.
Long after the episode, Lennox asked the princess whether she was prepared to spend the rest of her life coping with the press. Her answer was telling in its naivete.
Oh, Mr. Lennox. And
76ers are on the and while we've got him on, send it over to our terrific reporter, David Arnold.
Diana would be hounded by the press for the rest of her life.
Have their superstar the nurse says they have to maximize them in different
Haunted
ways.
and haunted, Diana struggled to cope with feelings the press would know nothing about, but which would shape the rest of her life and their coverage of it. When we return, Princess Diana reveals her secret
Thank you.
fairy tale.
And the Windsor Society take their first time out here. Maybe you coaching, what is one or two of the most important qualities for success in youth team?
Haunted and hunted, Diana struggled to cope with feelings the press would know nothing about, but which would shape the rest of her life and her recovery. Haunted and hunted, Diana struggled to cope with feelings the press would know nothing about, but which would shape the rest of her life and her coverage of it. When we return, Princess Diana reveals her secret to us. Fairy tale.
Lakers leading by 3. Greg, they're in a rhythm offensively, really cooking.
And the opposition looks helpless to stop them right now.
By James.
Yet another stellar night for LeBron offensively so far. In some ways, he's just unstoppable.
Pass to Oubre. Oubre on the wing. 6 to shoot. The 76ers need to get off a shot. Embiid, no good.
Boy, patrolling the paint well, protecting the rim, that's exactly the kind of defensive effort you need against him.
Here's Hayes. And the rejection by Embiid.
Embiid stiff-arming that shot with authority, no mercy.
To the paint. Here's Hayes. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. Hayes has got the lead up to 7 now for the Lakers. And you can never really count out these Los Angeles Lakers, Greg, can you?
No, I really don't think you can. They battle out of the play-in tournament. They overcome obstacles, and they have tremendous willpower.
The shot's good from LeBron.
And right there, you see the decision-making ability of Hachimura. Sets his man up perfectly.
Three minutes of action so far in the second quarter.
2 minutes remaining in the first half.
Over to the wing.
2 minutes.
Shot clock at 5. Here's Embiid. Embiid powers it down.
Nothing new for Embiid here, going off for a big scoring performance, par for the course.
And that one's good, James.
Coming off a big game, his confidence couldn't be higher, and coach knows it.
Showing no signs of slowing or cooling down. They're going to ride him as far as he can take him.
Pass to McCain. Back to George. Tries it from the top of the key. Again, Philadelphia.
Well, that's a smooth-looking jumper by Paul George. I mean, he's one of the more gifted scorers in the league, and there's no place on the floor where he can't hurt you.
That's his
And Nick Nurse, Greg, the 26th head coach in 76ers.